day, everyone. This is Christine Walkman, and today on our segment of RRHS, we will be discussing 5 of the most important ways us humans learn through our 5 senses, with, of course, the addition of another sense you guys may refer to as kinesthetics or movement. Why don't we start with one of my favorite senses of all, hearing.
Thank you, Christine. Hi, my name is Laura Lane. For many people, hearing a new song, learning to pronounce a new word, are some of the ways we learn from hearing. But when you lose that auditorial sense, how do we learn? The majority of deaf people lose their hearing later on in their life. Sign language is a way for deaf people to learn. Students go to school to learn sign language, and students learn sign language from interacting with their peers. Grammar is the same way as any student learn from a regular school. Deaf people also learn through vibrations. They either put their hand on their throat and 1 inch away from their mouth to learn how to speak. And if they want to listen to music, they either put their hand on a boombox or a radio to learn the vibration and how it moves. Or either they can look at your lips to know what you're saying, and they can interact back with you if you don't know sign language. And that is how deaf people learn.
Now we are here with Dr. Rojas, who will be speaking on how touch is used in everyday learning as well.
Thank you, Christine. It's very nice to see you again.
You too.
Okay, so the sense of touch is extremely important because without it, we wouldn't be able to do anything at all. Technology now in society is extremely important, and without an iPad or an iPod or not even a tablet in general. Yeah, not even phones. We can't even use phones anymore without having to use the sense of touch. All the time we learn through our sense of touch. Since we were babies, we learned that when you fell from a chair, it hurt. And why? It's because of the sense of touch. And we wouldn't be able to tell if we got a heart attack or a stroke or anything if it wasn't our sense of touch warning us of something dangerous. And some of the people don't have the benefit of having the sense of touch, such as people like Jules, a woman born with no sense of touch. When she was young, 2 years old, she left her hand on top of the stove, and it wasn't until her mom realized that her daughter's hand was burning and she wasn't moving. So they found out that she had a certain disease that didn't allow her to have the sense of touch. And it's extremely sad because now that she has a baby boy, she can't even feel the touch of her own son. And for water temperature, she always has to use a thermometer to measure the water. She can't feel the wind in her face. She just can't live a normal life like a normal mother could. Yeah, she can't even type correctly because she doesn't know if she hit the key or not. So although a benefit that she has is that she can't feel pain, but this is also dangerous because in the case where she got burned, she couldn't feel that. Yeah, it damaged her skin. And can you imagine not being able to feel warmth or cold for the rest of your life, not being able to feel anything at all?
Dr. Rojas' story is really touching. Now we'll be introducing taste and sight.
Hello guys, and today my segment is on taste. Now, do you remember the taste of Grandma's sweet apple pie? The warmth of chocolate sliding down your throat? The coolness of a watermelon? Taste is a very important part of our life. Without taste, we would just be bland and boring. And one likes certain things, I like to cook, and there's a type of food that everyone dislikes. This can be like Brussels sprouts or spinach, my favorite. But there's reasons why people don't like this. It could be because the food is nasty, because people didn't cook it right, God forbid, or because they had a bad experience. This bad experience could include having food poisoning or a stomach flu. Now, many people don't like a certain food because they had this bad experience, and this is called taste aversion. Your body does not want to eat that type of food anymore because it thinks that it made you sick. And I had this personal experience before. I can no longer eat Chile candy, hummus, or even tomato and basil chips. This is because I had a stomach flu. And now, that was a horrible experience, and my brain remembers that personal experience, and remembering is close to learning. And because I learned from this experience, I can never, ever eat hummus again, because I'm afraid that I will get sick. And I learned from that experience. There was an experiment done on rats. They injected poison into their food, and all the rats got sick because they ate this food with poison in it. And you can tell that taste aversion is connected to learning, because the scientists that put the poison in the rat's food fed them again. But the rats this time knew from learning and knew from experience not to eat that food because they got very sick, and they did not touch it because their body learned from how they got sick, and they stayed away from the food that made them sick. And that's my segment on tips.
There are rumors that there is a new sense. There are originally 5, but now there is a 6th sense, which is known as movement. We know movement by kinesthetic learning. Kinesthetic learning would be learning by using physical activity, such as a baby. A baby learning how to walk. A baby learning how to walk will watch the parents walk. But in order to actually learn how to walk, he has to try. So by physical activity, he is learning how to walk. The baby gets up, tries to walk a couple of steps, and will maybe fall down. But by the constant movement, the brain will remember the movement, and the baby will learn how to walk. Another example of this would be dancers. Dancers learn choreography. But in order to learn the dance and make their bodies move in a specific way, they have to learn it by actually acting this out. By trial and error, they have to actually practice.
I'm here to talk about sight, primarily colors that we see. Pantone, the company that mixes and creates colors and assigns names and numbers to them, are known for choosing the color of the year that we passionately see in the year's fashion, advertisements, technology, and so on. The question that lies here is how and why this color is chosen. Annually, Pantone holds meetings with representatives from various nations' color standard groups. After much debate, a color is chosen for the following year. Like 2013's color of the year, Emerald, was chosen in the year of 2012. Colors are chosen based off of so many reasons, such influences that impact the world in the future because the color is chosen a year in advance. This includes social issues, the economy, technology, lifestyles, and the needs and moods of consumers. Certain colors will be chosen based off of these reasons. For example, 2011's color was honeysuckle, and the press release declaring the color had mentioned that in times of stress, we need something to lift our spirits. Honeysuckle is a captivating, stimulating color that gets the adrenaline going, perfect to ward off the blues. Because 2010 was such an unfulfilling year. Learning how we're all feeling and what mood we're in affects what colors make us feel good or ignite a certain emotion. Knowing this, then we find out why seeing certain colors at certain moments may give a person a certain reaction. Learning this, too, it helps companies also configure if you're likely to buy a green pair of emerald shoes, that when the year is unlikely to have such fiscal issues and a bumpy economy, rather than a dull color brown pair of shoes.
So today, in the last segment of our show, I'd like to talk to you guys about one of the important senses of the human body: smell. Smells like winter to me. Why winter, you ask? Well, I usually like to keep warm by drinking something warm, like cocoa or coffee. And so I usually associate the smell of coffee with winter. It's known that people tend to link certain scents with certain experiences, and vice versa. And believe me, I've experienced winter. It's Wisconsin. It's a winter wonderland. However, what I associate the smell of coffee with can be completely different from what you guys associate it with. Maybe you hate coffee because of that one time you decided to take a whiff of Grandpa's old Colombian coffee, and from there you probably hated coffee. It's all about the social experiences that you gone through while you experience the smell. By social events, I mean more memorable experiences. Like the time you fell off your bike when you were 6 and you did a total faceplant, and maybe you just happened to smell freshly cut grass, and later on in life you've grown up hating the scent of freshly cut grass because of that experience. And experiences like that, and so on. Basically, if you were to experience a certain scent while, let's say, something really bad happened to you, or something really good, like you won an award or something, and your mom brought in flowers, you just associate the smell of flowers with winning. In all basicality, the more extreme memories can trigger this hormone in the brain called noradrenaline. And this hormone is associated with the memory dealing with the 5 senses of the body. A study was made upon mice, seeing if they could trigger the same effect. The mice had been put under anesthesia and had been simulated the release of this hormone, noradrenaline, with an electrode, while wafting the scent of something else, like food or another mice's urine. The scientists wanted to see if these 2 key elements, noradrenaline and scent, could trigger a chemical reaction that would have otherwise happened in the mice's brain when they experienced such a social event, like giving birth. Right, the next day, the scientists supposedly reported that the mice had changed behaviors towards this newly introduced scent. Meaning, you take in a certain scent, you add in that noradrenaline, or the memorable experience, and you've got yourself a now familiar scent. And that's it for our show.